Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is my podcast, Up in the Clouds, here for another week with you guys. Sorry that it's kind of a mess. I'm actually packing. Sunday I move into a new place. I'm so grateful that my friends let me stay with them, and just really excited for a new adventure, a new beginning, and really kind of, what else is going on? Not a whole lot, just been like moving and packing, and I start a new job on Monday, a serving job, so kind of excited about that. It's been nice kind of like taking time for myself and my mental health, and just like not really, working full time has been really nice. What else? Really nothing, just kind of moving and stressing about that. I really don't know, like I have nothing really specifically that I had in mind for this episode, so we're just kind of gonna, we're in season 4 now, so I always like to transition into a new season after I do 10 episodes. So last week, or on Monday, was episode 30. So we're here for episode 31. I know I've touched on this before in this podcast, but I like to talk about things like more than once and or in different ways. And I usually try to relate it to either what's going on in my life or things that are going on in the world. And something that I have been working on for myself is self-love. So self-love, loving yourself, finding love within yourself before you can really look for it from outside, or just really be in a successful relationship without self-love it's just not, we need to find that within ourselves. We can't be successful with another person. We can't be successful in life really unless we have that worthiness within ourselves and that love within ourselves, because when we treat ourselves how we want other people to treat us, and we treat ourselves with that respect, we get that respect back. Finding confidence, finding self-love, this is probably going to be a continuous topic on this podcast, because it's something that I struggle with, and it's something that I'm constantly working on. And I know that it's super important message, and it's something that's not really, we need to put that out there way more than it is. Everyone wants to, talk about mental health and stuff, but we need to talk about the steps to really like help our mental health, and, finding that true like love for yourself, and finding that confidence and finding happiness within yourself. Then you can really, you won't have to look for that with other people. You're not going to constantly seek that. And coming from children of divorce, children with emotional, separated like parents, or just families in general, or if you've been in relationships that, we all have something. We've all had someone in our life that maybe didn't love us back, or didn't show us love that we needed, and there's usually that always search for gratification. And that's something, with social media has gotten worse. Like we're constantly always seeking validation, gratification from other people, instead of finding that within ourselves, instead of not caring what other people think. Being confident in ourselves and our abilities, that we don't have to seek that from other people. That is when you truly let go, and that's when you truly release yourself to the universe, to your angels, to God, and then you open up that space that you've been harboring, those negative low vibrational feelings, and you open that space for good feelings and good things to come. And when you practice self-love and confidence, and you really work on how you view yourself, other people will start to view you how you perceive yourself. You will be that person that walks into a room and everyone says that you just light up the room. You bring an energy into a room that other people don't necessarily bring, because you're vibrating so high day and you're glowing. Like, you ever hear somebody like the post breakup glow, or like I feel like that's a really good example. Like, you get out of a really toxic relationship, or just a relationship that maybe necessarily wasn't considered toxic to other people, but maybe considered toxic to you, was bringing you down mentally, very stressful for you. Say you guys fight a lot, or just, you know, have things have happened and you guys just have a lot of issues because of things that have happened, fighting. And, you know, it makes it toxic for you. Other people might be like, oh, well, you've been through so much with this person, blah, blah. It's like, no, time doesn't matter. You know, how long you've known someone doesn't matter. History doesn't matter. I find it very frustrating when people say, like, and use history as an excuse to stay with somebody when the relationship is not beneficial for them. It's just causing them stress, anxiety, because they're always constantly fighting with their partner. Their partner is always worried about something, or, you know, whatever. I was in a relationship like that where I was on the receiving end, and then I became that person as well in my following relationship. And I've just decided that I never want to be in a relationship unless I feel secure enough with that person that I don't have to be that person. I didn't like the person that I was when I was in that relationship, and I didn't like being on the receiving end of that, where somebody's always constantly you're cheating, you're doing this, they're constantly checking your social media, they have like always looking through your phone, they're looking through your stuff. Like, that is not healthy, and we've come to a place where a lot of people think that is healthy, and it's really not. Like, somebody should trust you enough where they don't have to look through your phone, they don't have to look through your followers, they don't have to look through your social media, they don't have to do this or that. And like, you should feel confident enough in yourself and in your partner, and if you don't, then why are you with that person? And people will use history or time as an excuse to stay with them, to stay in that toxic, low vibrational relationship. And what is that? It's not bringing you anything but stress, anxiety, and what? Because you've been with that person forever. That time is not an excuse to stay in a low vibrational situation. It's the same excuse that people use with jobs that they're unhappy with, and it's the same excuse that people just use a lot to basically stay in their comfort zone, you know, leaving that person that they're comfortable with, even though that person makes them unhappy, or maybe not unhappy fully, but stresses them out, adds a level of anxiety into their life that necessarily isn't benefiting you. But they get stuck in that comfortability, and that's the use of time or history with this person. And they're just like, oh, well, my family loves them. I'm sorry, but your family is not the person, like, your family isn't going to live with you for the rest of your life. Like, your family is there, but they're not going to be the sharing a house with you or whatnot. Like, your family will learn to accept and love whoever you're with if you are happy with them. And if you're not happy with that person fully, then you need to find that respect for yourself to walk away, regardless of how long or regardless of this or that. If it's not benefiting you, then it's not for you. And that's how we need to start living our lives. We need to be more focused on being with and surrounding ourselves. This includes friends, relationships with friends too. Don't get it twisted and just think it's romantic partners. This is friendship, any relationship in your life, friends, partners, anything like that. This can apply to, you know, keeping a friend in your life, even though they're toxic, they're not benefiting you, this or that, they don't support you, you don't feel like you can go to them about things, you know, stuff like that. So don't just think that I'm talking about romantic partners here. I do mean friendships as well. So, and keeping people in your life just because you've been friends with them forever, that doesn't mean that they deserve a spot in your life just because you've known them for so long, as well. So this can apply to really anything, but learning that respect for yourself, where you're going to take that time to really evaluate, you know, who you're surrounding yourself with constantly. You need to be always thinking about, does this person benefit me? Does this relationship benefit me? Does this friendship benefit me? And it's not, maybe that does come across as selfish, and that's not what I am intending it to be. It's just that when we are surrounding ourselves with that toxicity of a relationship with a romantic partner that does stress us out, it does add an anxiety. You're always constantly worried that either that person is cheating on you or they're constantly worried that you're cheating on them. Is just not a fun environment. If you don't trust somebody, then you should not be dating them. If you have no trust in a relationship, you have no real love, because it's just, you're feeling just lust at that point, because true love is trust and forgiveness. And if you can say you forgive somebody, but when you're constantly bringing things up and constantly like reliving past situations, that you haven't forgiven that person for things, and then that's really where you have to make that decision that if you don't trust somebody and you don't believe that you can move forward in the relationship, then it's not benefiting you in any way. All it is keeping you in a low vibrational state, and then keeping you away from your goals and dreams. Because when we're in a low vibrational state, like, that doesn't mean good things can't happen to us, because they still can, but to achieve what we're really like going for, those low vibrational feelings and energies are keeping us further away from our goals and our dreams, because they're creating this anxiety and depression and this dark cloud around us. And when we have that dark cloud around us, it's really hard to think positively. It's really hard to be confident in ourselves, because we're constantly worrying about someone else and someone else's feelings, and not really putting ourselves first and how we feel. If somebody is causing you stress and anxiety, romantic partner, friendship, whatever, family member, if they're just adding a low vibrational feeling into your life, that's really messing things up for you. And that's, how can you really, especially when you have something that you're trying to go for, you want to surround yourself with positivity only. You want to surround yourself with positive people only, and you want positive relationships. And if that comes across as selfish because you want to have that for yourself, then I guess then it's selfish. But we come from a society where being selfish is considered a negative thing, but sometimes in certain situations, yeah, it is. But in some certain situations, especially when you're trying to go after something, or you really, are trying to manifest something into your life, you have to be a little selfish, and you have to really be conscious of the thoughts that you're thinking. If somebody is, if you're always fighting with your romantic partner, or your friend is always constantly shoving their, it's all about them, they're not really like there for you, they don't really support you, you're constantly having to support them and they don't support you, you are causing these low vibrational feelings in yourself, and it's messing with your confidence and stuff like that. If you're always worried about someone else and what they're feeling, and you're not really focused on yourself, that's how can things manifest into your life? Because you're not even focusing on the things that you want. You're too busy worried about making somebody else happy. And that's like, we have to also have that, like, that awareness of self to really manifest things that we want. And that's, this is your life. You are the main character. Everybody is, a character in your story. Don't make somebody else the main character in your life. Make sure that you're keeping that main character in yourself. Because this is your life. We only have one life. We are given a short amount of time on this earth to make it the best that we can. And if you're constantly putting other people first and other people's feelings first, then what are you doing for yourself? What you're not getting yourself to a point where to be for you. You're not getting yourself to where you want to be. You're completely hyper focused on other people, and that is not a bad thing until it comes to a point when you realize you're so unhappy with your life and you haven't been focused on what you want from life. And that's where you have to put yourself first in these situations, like your environment, who you're surrounding yourself with, making sure you're only surrounding yourself with people who uplift you and people who feel like bring you up. And that is all a key aspect of self-love and self-confidence and self-respect, because you have to respect yourself, love yourself enough to be like, okay, this person isn't benefiting me. This person is causing me more stress. This person is not supportive of me, like a friendship or whatever, or maybe even a romantic partner. I've definitely had romantic partners that were not supportive of me in a lot of situations, and that does cause stress. Or maybe they are too pushy. Like I definitely have had that as well, where there's too pushy, and that can be a lot as well. But regardless, they can be super supportive, but if they're adding like a level of toxicity, like fighting or just constantly accusing you of things, or just there's no trust in the relationship, that's really kind of where we have to step back and really be like, okay, obviously you love this person or you have history with this person or whatever, but sometimes you have to say, fuck that history, fuck this, you have to really just find that confidence in yourself that you will, what's meant to be will be, and maybe you guys will find each other again when you guys have grown a little bit. Sometimes periods of separation are super important. If you know anything about the twin flame journey, that is all about the twin flame journey, is usually you meet your twin flame and then you have to go through a period of separation to grow and heal yourselves from those traumas, and then you will be reunited with your twin flame. That is just something, not everybody really knows a lot about, but that is just like one view of a soulmate sort of love. A twin flame usually mirrors you, and I could do a whole episode about twin flames and soulmates and karmics if that's something that interests you guys, if you want to hear more about that. But let's not get too sidetracked. So self-love, recognizing who we're surrounding ourselves with and the importance of how we're feeling about ourselves, making sure that we're constantly checking in with ourselves and our feelings and what we're feeling. If you're feeling a feeling that you don't like, anger or sadness, examining, why am I feeling this? What is causing me to feel this? And how can I fix this for myself? Like if it's somebody else causing you to feel those feelings, then you need to reevaluate your relationship with them in your life. And like I said, relationship can mean friendship, romantic partners, families. Relationship is just something that you have with another person, regardless of, I just mean that in a platonic way as well. So reevaluating our relationships with the people that we're surrounding ourselves with. If our best friend is somebody that we don't even feel like we can talk to about things, maybe we need to get a new best friend, like just really like being selfish in certain situations is sometimes okay. Obviously we can't always be, selfish is viewed very negatively. So I wish there was a better word I could think of in this present moment that I could use instead of selfish. But right now I'm just going to have to say being selfish and putting ourselves first and removing ourselves from certain situations with people and like what we're surrounding ourselves with. Because what we do with our time on our earth, if we're constantly just people pleasing and looking for that gratification and staying in a relationship or staying friends with people because of history or whatnot, and we're really not happy, then we're not happy. And that's, why wouldn't you want to be happy? This whole process of life is the goal. I feel like success is measured by happiness. You could be the most successful person in the world. You could have everything that you want. But if you're not happy, what is it all for? You have to make sure that you're happy, truly happy with the life that you have and the people around you that are bringing you up. They're not bringing you down. They're not affecting your confidence or whatnot, or how you view self or anything like that. You need to make sure that people are uplifting you, because it is important. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to not have people around. You don't want to not have people in your life. But you also don't want negative people in your life either. So that's super important to really always be evaluating and always being consciously aware of how we're feeling, how a person makes us feel, and whatnot. Toxic relationships are tricky because a lot of the times people can make you think that they're, you know, benefiting you, and they do, you know, make you happy sometimes, because it's like you get into that, especially if you've only really had toxic relationships. It's sort of like a push and pull, you know, situation. You get addicted to that toxicity. You get addicted to those highs of when a person is nice to you, or you get addicted to, you know, that when they are great, they're great, but, you know, they're only great sometimes, you know. So just making sure that we're not getting addicted to toxic cycles with people and the highs and lows of dating, and making sure that we're not just like, you know, oh, just because the great times are great, but there's more bad times than there are great. But when the great times are great, they're so great, you know. Just making sure that we're always being consciously aware of everything and every situation and what we're always feeling, making sure that we're taking that time to check in with ourselves, you know, what is causing this feeling and how can I fix it? Because ultimately we want to be happy. The goal should be happiness. The goal should be, you know, being so abundantly happy. You can manifest anything in this life, but you got to make sure that you are happy. Otherwise, you're never going to feel satisfied with life. So happiness is super, super important. Self-love is important. Making sure that, you know, not just self-care, because you can do all the face masks and bubble baths in the world, but if you don't really like love yourself, you're just caring. You're partly caring for yourself, making sure that you feel that love within yourself before you seek it from outside sources, and making sure that we're not living our lives based on constant instant gratification, or instant, like, you know, those highs of, oh my God, I got a lot of likes, or oh my God, this or that, you know. Making sure that have pure intentions, that we're doing things to benefit our happiness. We need to, and that is okay to be selfish when we're focused on becoming happy. I spent so many years being so unhappy, and now I don't want that anymore. I don't want to be unhappy. The goal is happiness. And if I have to be alone for a little while, if I have to, you know, really focus on myself, grind, work a ton, like, I will do that. To, you know, sometimes I'll go into like hermit mode and I don't reach out to people. And not that I am using gratification to see who will reach out to me, but it's just sort of like taking that time away from people when, you know, I need to focus on myself for a little bit, and things that are going on in my life, you know, abstaining from just like random things, going out for, you know, drinks and stuff when I don't feel right in the mental health or mental headspace. Drinking is very not beneficial when you're not in a good headspace, because I feel like it just kind of makes it worse, honestly. At least in my situation, it always kind of makes it worse. So I try not to partake in drinking when I don't really feel like I'm in a good headspace, because yeah, we need to really make sure we're only doing things that kind of benefit what we like for our lives, you know. So yeah, self-love, super important. Working on your confidence, you know, do those affirmations, baby. You know, find good affirmations that make you feel good, making sure you're embodying those feelings, and kind of repeat them to yourself throughout the day. You know, they're most effective when you're kind of looking at yourself in the mirror. It's kind of like a mirror effect. Like when you're actually looking at yourself, then you can kind of really like work out those body dysmorphia that is really clouding your brain, and completely seeing yourself differently than the world does. You know, that's going to kind of like rework that out of your brain, and kind of push in what other people see. And every single one of us is beautiful in our own ways. We all are so beautiful. Looks are not the most important thing in the world, but making sure that we feel beautiful in our own skin is really a goal. You know, that's something that I've been working on for months. It's not easy to rework a lot of trauma / things that you felt about yourself for a long time. It's so difficult. And Obviously, body dysmorphia is something that's going to stay with you for a while, but it doesn't have to control you. You know, you can really like try to rework out the kinks and making sure that you're not don't repeat negative affirmations to yourself. Like, don't tell yourself like you're fat or you're ugly or this or that. Like, making sure you're repeating positive affirmations to yourself. I love my body. I love the way it looks. I have the perfect body for myself, blah, blah, blah. And really working on those, like, those negative feelings that you're pushing into your own brain, you know, making sure you're keeping those and replacing whenever you feel a negative thought coming on, replacing it with a positive one right away, making sure no negative thoughts are crossing your path at the point where they won't anymore. You know, you're reworking your brain and your subconscious and things that have been embedded in there for so long. It's not easy, and it does take a lot of work, and it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to, you know, fix your eating disorder, your depression, your anxiety, or body dysmorphia, or your PTSD, or anything, you know, overnight. It does take time, and it does take commitment, and it does take practice. You have to constantly repeat those things to yourself and replace those negative thoughts with positive ones before it really like sticks. Just so being consciously aware of what we're thinking at all times. And really, when we get to that place, that higher self, when we align with our highest version of ourselves, then everything is instant. Things just come so much easier and quicker when we remove those blocks, when we remove those negative thoughts, when we take those limiting beliefs that we have and really create new beliefs and create a whole new life for us. This is, you know, that is the beauty of our universe and beauty of this whole world that is truly unknown to a lot of people. And a lot of people think you're woo-woo wacky when you talk about manifestation and you talk about that instant life and manifesting what you need in life. And really it's so easy when you're in a high vibrational state compared to low vibrational to manifest things. So that's why the goal is to get to that highest self so we can manifest instantly and things just come to us so quickly and so easily when we're in a highest self. So, you know, self-love, self-confidence, making sure we're like what we're thinking and the thoughts. And that's why, like, in relationships in our lives, because sometimes those relationships are putting thoughts in our heads too, like, I'm a shitty person, my partner thinks I'm shitty, so I am shitty, my partner thinks I'm a piece of shit, so I am a piece of shit, blah blah blah. Like, making sure that we're not letting our people that are supposed to be bringing in positivity, bring in negative thoughts and affirming those negative thoughts about ourselves. We have to make sure that they're either affirming positive things that we're trying to affirm for ourselves. We don't want those negative things to keep being affirmed in our life. We want to push those negative feelings and thoughts away and really focus on good and happiness and solidness within ourselves. And yeah, don't be afraid to, you know, walk away from a friendship, a relationship, a family member, even if it has to be, to really take that leap for yourself and really be selfish. Somebody who cares a lot about other people and really, you know, feels for other people, it's really hard to be selfish and it's really hard to put myself first. But that's something that, you know, I've been really working on and really just like doing for myself. You know, it is super important. And I didn't want this episode to be super long. I just wanted to have like a little short episode for you guys as an intro into season 4. Obviously I've had really intense mental struggles for the past couple months, pretty much all of summer. And I've been writing a lot of poetry, a lot of dark poetry. I want to share it with the world, but I'm kind of afraid because some of it is really dark. But also, like, you know, when you release stuff like that and you put it out to the world, you kind of become a beacon for hope for other people, because other people see that, you know, someone who may put out that they aren't going through those things, deep down they are, and it's relatable. People feel less alone when they find things to connect to. So finding a good outlet for me to be able to really release those things, maybe potentially work on things in the future. So I'm really excited for that and furthering into a path that I've wanted to go down for a long time. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end here. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment of what, really stuck out to you. Like I said, if there's any topics you want to hear, also reach out to me and let me know, and we can make an episode about it. And other than that, I will see you guys next week, and I will be in a new place. So I probably will wait until I get my room set up and stuff early next week, because next week Friday, we will be traveling to Ohio for Lost Lands. So I will be in a camping festival, so I'll probably release an episode on Wednesday or Thursday next week. Probably Wednesday, because I'll probably be packing on Thursday. So Wednesday, I will see you guys on Wednesday, okay? For a little early episode, because I don't want to drain too much battery by trying to upload this for you, or maybe I'll just schedule it to be uploaded on Friday. Not sure yet, but either way, I will see you guys next week for another episode, and send me good vibes as I get ready for an adventure. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week.